Hi there, I'm Ben, an RV technician here at Lichtsinn RV. We're going to be doing an orientation video today on our Era model. So we're going to start inside. So coming inside, so we're kind of going to start up here behind the driver's seat. We'll make our way around. We'll come up front, talk about the up front stuff, then hit the outside compartments and everything outside. So in the first cabinet above the couch here, you have your Jensen radio and DVD player. So this is pre-fed into your TV, so we'll play DVDs to your TV. We have the power button on the left side here, play pause. You can fast forward and tuning there. Volume here for the radio, just righty turns volume up, left turns volume down. The plus and the minus are for dimming the back screen, so we can dim that way down or we can turn it way up. Hours and minutes are for setting the clock, setting alarms. You have an eject button here for ejecting CDs or DVDs. ASPS are scans through the radio for presets and radio. Set and on and off are for the alarm settings. The source button will take you through all the sources of the radio. So if you want Bluetooth, if we want coaxial, any of that stuff, that's actually where we access those through the source button. Menu will bring up menu, which will be like your bass, your trebles, your fades, standard stuff like normal radios have. Enter is how we select everything on the menus. These are all your presets. Just hold the preset, it will set to that preset. A, B, and C speakers. So that's how we set the speaker controls. B is not used in this coach. A is interior speakers. C is exterior speakers. You also have an auxiliary port and a USB port. Coming down underneath that, under here we have a TV input here. So there's AV cables that we can hook other, receivers to, other DVD players, anything we can hook into AV, that will be pre-fed into the TV. Above that here, we have a booster plate, which is a little button right here, little green light, and that's for your king jack antenna. So if I shut that off, the green light goes away, turn it on, green light's on. So right above us here is your king jack antenna. So your king jack antenna has an on-off switch on the left side. All that is doing is shutting these lights off. Again, it won't kill anything on your TV. Your TV is still run. It's just those lights are really bright at night, so it's nice to have a disconnect for those. The attenuator, what that is for is we can actually fine-tune our signal. So we can only bring in, the strongest channels coming in, so you don't have all these random channels that you're not going to get in very good. Here is your rotation, so we can rotate the antenna. It is a stationary antenna. All we're doing is rotating. There's no cranking up, no cranking it down. So all we're trying to do is get as many blue lights as we can. And then once you get as many blue lights as you can, then we're going to go to our TV and do our channel search, which I will show you once we get around to that point. The other thing we have up in this cupboard is we have a 110 volt plug-in on the left side here. And then way on the left side of the cabinet here, we have where the microwave plugs in up top there. All of your cabinet doors have heavy duty latches here. So when we go down, clip in place, you're just gonna grab underneath and pull to release that cabinet. Down below that, you got your MCD shade. And then we have crank out windows. So we're gonna go left to crank it out. And there also is a handle right here that we can pop open and crank it that way. And then right to crank it in. And then once you start feeling pressure, put that handle away and then do one more little crank to make sure it's tight against the coach. All right, also up above here, you do have a couple USB ports. So for charging phones, computers, any of that stuff. All right, next we're gonna go through the black bag, Winnebago black bag. So pretty much if you have any questions, trouble running anything, this is always a good resource to go to. You can always call us and we'll walk you through it too. But to start with, we have a copy of your window sticker. So on the window sticker, we have all of your exterior heights, lengths, and widths. And then we have all of your tank sizes. 16 gallons on the LP, 26 gallons on the gray, 9 gallons on the black, 25 gallons on the freshwater, and a 26 gallon fuel tank. The LP is fillable to 80%, so roughly you're going to get about 13-14 gallons of LP in this coach. You also have all your options on here. If I flip it over, All your options are there. This other sheet here has all of your serial and model numbers of every appliance in the RV here. Next, we have the operator's manual. So this is going to help you operate everything in the coach, kind of what we're going through today. Back here in the back section, be section 11, there is a maintenance chart. So this is a good reference just to keep up on batteries, keep up on seals. It'll tell you when to check those things. It'll tell you before it's used, weekly, monthly, every 3 months, 6 months, or yearly. So just a good starting reference. Eventually you'll kind of get your own process going, but this will get you started. Other manual we have is our supplement manual. So this is every manual for every single thing in this coach. So the manual that came with the microwave, they just take it and they put it in binder form for you. Makes it easy to find what you need to. It's all subcategorized in the front. So whatever you're looking for, really easy to find. Also have the Mercedes-Benz manual. So anything to do with the chassis, refer to this manual. We also have the Onan CD in here for your generator. A lot of times your winterizing hose will be in the black bag and maybe in a drawer also. We will go through this once we get to the winterizing part of the video. And then there are some other random manuals in there. The random manuals are usually in your other supplement manual too. Alright, so let's get that out of the way. Okay, now we're going to go through actually setting this up into a bed. It's really easy to do. Right here in the middle, there is actually, get to it right here in the middle, there's a release that you're going to pull up, a little black handle there. So pull that forward, it's going to release that down. Now, if we can just step back a little bit here, come down here, what we're going to do is now your countertop extension here. We're going to flip that up, latch into place. It's got a release under here. So this little pull handle release, we're going to pull that sideways. It's going to release the table down, sets down right there. Then we have our cushion that has a couple little hooks on it. These hooks hook into the cushions on the back side there. So what we're going to do, take this cushion, set it down, put it right on that table that we flipped down. The easiest way to do this is to actually flip this up a little bit. And then what we're going to do is get those locked into place and then come down. So really easy to do, a couple steps, but really easy. This cushion is usually stored in the back. There's actually a strap for it that I'll show you once we get around to the back of the coach. And if we're ready to tear this down, we're going to reverse that process. So we're going to lift up, pull this cushion out. Set there, we're going to flip that table back up, lock it back into place. Then there's a little black handle underneath here that we're going to pull to release our countertop extension. So lift up a little bit, pull, releases it down. And then we'll come back up here, and this is just a jackknife. So all we're going to do is lift up, push in until you hear that clip. All right, down below, underneath this cushion here, there actually is a subwoofer speaker. That's part of your rear entertainment. All right. So moving back, we have a standard microwave, no convection in here. So pretty standard on the function wise of it. You have all of your presets, popcorn, potato, pizza, frozen vegetable. Time wise, you can push 1, 2, 3, and that's going to be how many minutes it is. And then the start button, we can add 30 seconds at a time. You got stop and cancel there. Otherwise, you push the button here to open it. It does have the glass tray and plastic roller in there. Moving down to the fridge, got a pull handle right in the middle. Pull straight out, opens up. Now we have 3 settings to this fridge. We have 110, battery, and LP. So 110 is only going to run if we're plugged in or generator running. Battery will draw right from your coach batteries. And then LP is going to be running on LP. And there's actually a diagram right here that tells you how to light it. But what you do is over here on your temperature control, we push in on the temperature control, and then we have a sparker right here. So then we hit that sparker until you see this line go up into the green, just like it is. Once it's in the green, you can let go. Now we're lit on LP. So now it will stay cool on LP. And the second I change this setting over here, it's going to shut that LP off. You'll see that line drop back to the white area. Then if you're not going to use it, go up here to that top. That actually shuts the whole fridge off. Your freezer in here opens sideways. The freezer is removable. Again, a diagram here how to remove it, but we can take that out if we want more fridge space. All the shelves are adjustable. All of these shelves on the door are adjustable also. And the main thing with these kind of fridges is we want to be as level as we possibly can. So we want to be within 4 degrees each direction. So if that means getting some Lynx levelers or something under the tires to get us up and level, that's what we need to do. All right, moving back over. This is the storage for your cushion that makes your bed in the back. That's where it stores, and I'll show you that when we get back there. Coming into the bathroom, we just pull in the middle on the handle, the door opens, and then it just folds in half. So in the bathroom, we'll start with the toilet. Toilet's ran on a foot pedal down low here on the right side. So what it's going to be is partially depressed will fill your bowl up, and then fully depressed will drop it into the black tank. You also have a cleaning sprayer here. Only works if this foot pedal's down. So foot pedal not down, you won't get any water out of that sprayer. In front of that we have a toilet paper holder right here. It does have a little bar inside that we put the roll on, put it inside, and then every time I crank this up and down, it's going to roll your more toilet paper out. Sink wise, we're going to pull up. Left is hot, right is cold. Push down to reset it. Shower, further I go up, hotter it gets. All the way back down to shut it back off. On the shower head, we have, this will stop all your water flow, and then we can change our sprays up here. This is important because we're limited to the amount of water we have on board. So what we tell people is military showers. Set your temperature once, then after that, control it with this shut off here. You have a drip bar up high here. Again, that's for, wet towels, swimming trunks, stuff like that. Don't use it as a full closet. It can only handle so much weight. Up above here is your exhaust vent. So what you're going to do is that handle in the middle, push it up, and there's a little red button right here. Hit the red button. Push it again to shut it off. Pull down to seal it. So anytime we're taking a shower or anything, let's use that exhaust vent to get the moisture out of the coach. The bathroom light is actually located out in the galley, and I'll show you that when we get around to those switches. And then to close the doors, we're just going to come back in. The left door is always first because it has this wipe seal that's here. And take the right door, close it. All right, moving back to the bedroom. So above me is your air conditioning. All of your air conditioning settings are right here on the AC. The front setting is going to choose what setting we want it to be on. If we want to use the high fan, low fan. So the first one's going to be low fan, low fan. There's 2 low fans, and then you're going to get into high fan, and then low cool, and then high cool. The low cool and high cool are just how fast that blower is going to run. The back one here is actually the thermostat, but we're going to set that facing this way. So the more red I have showing this way, the warmer it's going to be in here. The more blue, it's going to be colder. You do have some dampeners here. So these 2 dampeners will guide which way you want the air to be flowing, out the back and out the front. We do also have 2 filters. Pull on these right here, these 2 tabs, pulls that cover off. We'll take that filter down. either blow it out with air or rinse it out. But if you do rinse it out, let it dry before we put it back up. Okay, coming back over here, we do have full storage all the way up and all the way around in the bedroom. Then you do again have the MCD shades back here. Got that little tether there. We're going to pull down. All the shades in here do have the Velcro, and there is a little Velcro round thing right down here. So when we pull that down, we can push it against the wall to hold it tighter against the window so no one can see in. Pull it out, release it up. We have 2 crank out windows back here. We also have your night light / reading light. If I push that once, it's a night light. If I hold it, it turns into a reading light. Push it again to shut it off. USB ports back here above the bed. We do have 2 speakers back here that run with your rear entertainment. Under the driver's side cushion, front cushion, we can lift that up, pull that off to the side. There's a little hole in this panel right here. So we're going to grab that, pull that out of the way. This is what's actually giving us access to our Truma. So what the Truma is, that's our heating and hot water. It's doing both in one system. The one thing we need to know under here is behind the Truma, kind of hard to see right now, there are a couple drain valves back there, low points, and then there also is a bypass valve to bypass the Truma for winterizing. And then right behind the Truma, there's a little blue valve that has a yellow handle. That's how we drain the Truma. And again, it's hard to see at this angle, but if you look hard enough, it's back there. And if you ever have trouble finding valves with that, refer to your manuals. They do pretty good, or refer to Winnebago's website about where valves are located. Or again, give us a call and we'll help you out with that. Okay, also on the bed here, you do have your head lifts. Just a matter of grabbing them, lifting up, and that will give you your head lift. To reset, just pull it all the way up and then it resets down. Same on the passenger side. You do have 2 light controls up here. So we have our bedroom overhead, which is LED strip lighting, and then we have a master light switch under there. That's going to shut all lights off in the whole coach. Or you can hold it again and turn all the lights back on in the whole coach. The passenger side here, we do also have the USB ports, and we got the same reading light as we do on the driver's side. Again, we have tip out windows on the passenger side, MCD shade. We have our 12-volt TV in the back here. So power button on the left, otherwise you do have your remote that will control that. The DVD player up front will feed to this TV in the back here, so you can watch it at either location, either in the front or in the back. Underneath me here, a couple things. Got a full extension drawer there. We have a 110 plug-in here. We have kind of a return air for the heat, just kind of keeping everything flowing, cool. Also have an access panel right there, which this is part of all of your electronics in here pretty much. So this is, you have Power Plus here, that's going to tell you if any of your power issues. So pretty much what that's doing is watching out for you. It's making it so you're not tripping breakers if we overamp anything. Like I said, it's just there to kind of look out for you. Okay, you do have a fuse puller here, and then we have a lot of mini ATO fuses. In your manual, it will reference where these go. So if you ever blow a fuse or anything, you want to know, grab your manual out and reference those. This also, put that back on. Then the cover just has 2 snaps on it there. So we're just going to line those up. Push that back on. Really easy to do. Here we actually have your wardrobe. So in your wardrobe, you got your hanging rod up high. Right now in the wardrobe, we have the front floor mat, And then we also have the front windshield cover. That's what's in the black bag. You also in there have your shower curtain for in your bathroom. It covers your toilet so we're not getting everything all wet. And that's what the white curtain is there. And then we do have pull-out drawers down below that are full extension drawers. And they are slow close. Okay, moving forward here, in the galley, top screen here is your master control. It's going to pretty much control everything in this coach for the Winnebago side. Touch the screen, it's going to bring up the screen. The first one over here is going to be your lights. So if I touch that one, now it's going to bring me into all of my light controls. If they're illuminated, shows a little light around it, that means they're on. So if I touch this one, that goes away, that light's off. So that's your bathroom light right there. So then we have ceiling light here that would shut down or turn back on. And then you can scroll through them to find the rest of the lights. Go back out to the home up in the upper left hand corner. Next one over is going to be all of your tank levels. So we have fresh water, gray water, black water, LP gas, and then you have chassis and coach batteries. Over here we have awning controls, so we can actually run our awning out from here. All you're going to do is hold this arrow on the out position for about 3 to 5 seconds. So just hold it. You'll hear the awning start going out. If you do want to stop, hold the other direction. That will stop it, and then hold it again if you want to bring it back in. Back to the home. Down here, it's going to tell you what kind of power you have. Tells you what service you're on. So 30 amp service. It will tell you if you're on 20 amp or 15 amp. Loads, tells you what's all powered. What actually we're going to do here is it's actually going to start shutting things down. So again, if we over amp, draw too much power, it's going to start shutting these things down in order, just so you're not tripping breakers pretty much. Then line just tells you 30 amp, AC amps 2. So we're using 2 amps. Back out. On here is how we start and stop our generator. So you have a start, you have a stop, we have auto start. So what that is right now it's priming the generator and then it will start automatically for us. And then you have auto stop here, which will automatically shut it down. Okay, main thing about the generator is every 50 hours of use we'll want to do an oil change on it. And then every month we want to exercise it at least 2 hours under 50% load. So the more we run these generators, the better they're going to run for you. So make sure you run them, get some hours on them every month that you have it. Do your first oil change at 20 hours and then every 50 hours after that, or once a year, whichever one comes first. Back out to the home. Down here is turning your water pump on. So it's either on or off for the water pump. And your water pump's there to draw out of the freshwater tank on board. If you are hooked up to an outside water source, like if the resort offers water, we're going to use the pressure from the hose. Then we'll shut our pump off. We don't even need our pump then. Go back out, and then we can lock the screen also there. Touch to unlock. So that's that whole control there. Down below that's our Truma. This is all of our heating and hot water. So what we're going to do is push the middle button. Going to bring up our main screen. That first one that's flashing there is going to be room temperature. So if I click on it, it's whatever you want the room temperature set at. So if I say I wanted it set at 70, turn it up to 70, push the middle button, and then it's going to kick on, heat your room to 70. Next one over, that one flashing is going to be your hot water. So you either have off, we have eco, which is the most, using the lower watt element, pretty much using the least amount of power as possible to heat your water. You have hot, which is just your standard use to get hot water. And then we have boost. What boost is for is the hot water takes priority over the heat. So if you're going to do showers and that, and cold climates, anything like that, put it on boost. That means it's going to keep up with your showers, or keep up with your demand. Next one over is going to be what energy source you want to heat the gas or heat the water and to heat your coach with. You either have gas, so that's 100% gas it would use. We have mix 1, which is going to be 75% gas, 25% electric. Mix 2 would be more like a 50-50 on electric and gas. And then we have electric 1. What electric 1 is we're using that lower watt element to heat everything. Electric 2, now we jump up to a higher watt element to heat everything. And if you ever run into a situation where it's really cool outside and for some reason electric's not keeping up, just turn it on to a mix or turn it on to gas. Gas will always keep up with your demands. Next one over is fan speeds. We either have eco or we have high on the fan speeds. So it all depends how fast you want that blower to run, giving you hot air. Down below that you have 2 clocks. One of the clocks is for setting the time for this system. The other clock is actually for setting setback thermostat. So you can program this thermostat to turn on at a certain time, turn off. Maybe you're going to be gone for a little while, or gone for a couple hours, but when you get back you want hot water. You can set this up to be ready for you pretty much when you come back. Right hand corner, there are settings down there. There are a lot of settings to this system. They are all set pretty good right now. I won't mess with too many of them. You can actually mess some things up by changing a lot of those settings. If you are going to go into the setting menu, refer to your manual. It'll walk you through what you should be changing, what you shouldn't be changing. Okay, over to the left side of that is your solar panel. 100 watt solar panel. Not a lot we can do with it. This is pretty much a readout. The one thing I can do is that top button on the right side. I can push it and I can look at my amps, and if I push it again I can look at my amp hours. That's pretty much what that solar panel is giving us. And then that one more push will give us the voltage. The one below that says battery type. Don't ever change that unless you're going to change the batteries out. If you're going to put a different type of battery in here, then we would change it. Otherwise leave it how it is so it knows what kind of batteries you have on board. Down below that we have other controls for our lights. So all of these controls are actually on that master screen that I showed you, but they also give you individual places we can shut those off at. So like your ceiling light, bedroom ceiling light, bathroom light is right here, and then the galley overhead light is right there. So in the galley, up high you have storage above the sink. Nice big storage up there. And all of your cabinet doors are labeled with an identification sticker. That is Winnebago identification. It just helps them identify the color on the door and what door you're talking about. So if you ever need warranty parts, that number would be very, very helpful. MCD shades in the kitchen again. Let go. Sink. Flip up the cover. It is a pivoting sink, so go up and then we can pivot this way. What we're going to do is pull out. Up is going to be hot, down will be cold. Push it back in to shut it off. Then when we store it, we're just going to rotate back down and rotate sideways. You do have the stopper in the bottom that we can plug off the sink, just a little stopper. Then close that back down, we're not using it. We do have a 110 plug-in in the galley here. We have full storage down below that. In the top drawer, you have 2 little tiny remotes. These are for your TVs. And they say Insignia right on them. We have a Jensen remote, which is for your Jensen DVD CD player. We have this is for your infotainment center up front. Just gives you a remote in case you're sitting back here listening to Sirius XM. We can control it from back here. And then we also have a control for your exhaust fan. So that's the fan actually up top. We'll talk about it in a second. This remote itself is actually a thermostat. So we can set temperatures on here when we want this to open, when we want it to close. You can control fan speeds up and down on that. So the remote's nice to have. You have a mount here. You can mount it anywhere in your coach or you don't have to. Kind of your choice. Also in here, we got a free sample of Aquachem. What Aquachem is, a black tank deodorizer and sanitizer. So what we'll do is just follow directions on here. I believe the directions on here say quarter of the bottle, put a gallon of water down with it. I prefer to use porta packs. They're a lot less messy. We do sell those here. You put one porta pack down, add a gallon of water with it, you're done. It's pretty much like a dishwasher tablet. A lot easier than this liquid to use. And then again, more storage. Down here, also have drinking water filter. The drinking water filter filters everything cold coming out of the kitchen faucet. And that actually sits right here in the cabinet right next to the kitchen sink. Right up top here. There is a winterizing plug in it right now. So what we do is we quarter turn that winterizing plug out, pull down on it, put that filter back up in its place, and quarter turn it into place. Replacement on your filters is kind of varies on how much water you use through the kitchen faucet. I would do it at least once a year, but then based upon taste and smell of your water, or if you like to change it sooner than that, do it however you want to. And more storage way down on the bottom. All right, we have our stovetop here. Lift up on the glass cover. Really easy to use. We have just a little dot that's right here. That's where we set everything to. So if I want to light, we're going to turn it to light, which looks like just a little lightning bolt. Push in on it, hit the sparker until it lights. Once it lights, let go of the sparker, hold it for about 3 seconds, then let go. And then we can go down to a simmer or up to that high flame. Then when you're not using it, just go back to off. Other side works identical to that. If you do use this a lot and it is hot, wait till it cools down before we bring that glass down. The glass will break under too much heat, so just make sure it cools down. That's all right. Another 110 plug-in right underneath the stove. This is your GFI plug-in. So with that, just a ground fault interrupter. Anytime we're within 6 feet of water, we have to use a ground fault plug. And this is the one ground fault plug in this whole RV. So if any of your outlets that are by the kitchen sink, bathroom sink, this is going to control them. It does have a reset button right on the front and a test button right on the front. Good rule of thumb, if you don't see that green light, that pretty much means it's tripped. So reset it then. If it doesn't reset, that means you either have a short or there's a problem. Okay, we do have more switches here. These again are individual switches. Opposite of what we had on that panel, we have all the controls of these on that panel too. You have ceiling light, cab overhead, sofa overhead, porch lights, awning lights. And then again, you have that master switch that will turn all lights on or off in the whole coach. In here, we have storage. And then I will show you this from outside, but this is actually where we do our winterizing from. It's just a little easier to see it from the outside. But you have storage here and down low, and then winterizing is done from on the bottom side. Okay, so on the TV, whenever we get that King Jack antenna set, how we want it, then what we're going to do is we're going to use this menu button. Go into menu. You will scroll over to channel, go down to where it says channel search, and just click OK. And then it's going to search for as many digital stations as it can find in that area. If you're in a pretty remote area, you might not find any. If you're in a metro area, you'll probably find a lot. So, but every time we switch locations, we have to do that channel search, and we have to do it separately to both TVs. All right, so now what we're gonna do is come around up here to the front. We do have storage up above. So that's up above the driver's seat and passenger seat. There's another storage compartment up there. Then rotating your seats, the front seat, really easy to do. What we want to do is we want to bring the seat all the way forward before we rotate. That's how we clear the door, clear everything, steering wheel. Once we bring that all the way forward, we have our release right here. Just this black handle. Pull it towards the center of the chair. And then we can just grab the chair and pull it around. It only locks in two positions, either all the way forward or all the way back. So once I come all the way back, it's locked now. I can take the seat back just to open up more room back here. When we go to rotate it again, we got to bring it all the way again forward. And then we have to pull that release again if we do lock it to turn it. On this would be technically the inside of the passenger seat is going to be your lumbar support in the back here. We have an armrest that is adjustable. To reset it, just go all the way up, come back down. On this side, kind of hard to see, but right over here, okay, right over here we got a couple more controls. First control in front here is going to lift the front of your feet up or lower them. The next one over is a pump. So we're going to pump the seat up if we want to raise ourselves, pump it down if we want to lower ourselves. The crank here is actually going to be for your backrest, forward or backward. And rotating there. Okay, now we will actually jump up front and we'll go through all this, the front stuff. Okay, start with over here on the driver's door. We have window controls here for driver and passenger windows. We have left and right mirror controls. And then these are the controls that actually move the mirrors. So that top mirror is the only one that moves. The blind spot mirror on the bottom, you have to hand adjust that one. Up here on the dash, we have your light controls. So we have daytime running lights, but we don't have auto lights. So at night, turn your full lights on. Remember to shut them off when you're done. Fog lights, you're going to turn on, pull out. Once you see these lights come on, that means your fog lights are on. The middle one is just your parking lights, and then again, that's off. Little control up here on top is your cruise control. So cruise is always on. To set a cruise, all I literally have to do is either hit it down or up. To resume, pull forward. To cancel a cruise, push back. It says off, but it actually is just canceling. Up and down is also your accel and then decel. Below that we have our light controls, our brights and dims. Push it towards the dash for brights, pull back for dims. We have our blinkers, up and down. We have our wipers by twisting the handle. And then if you want the fluid, push in on. Front of the steering wheel, we have all of your in-dash options controlled on the left side. It'll show right up in the center monitor panel up there. And that's where we can check our DEF level, our fuel range, trips, odometers. It's all going to be up there. You scroll right to left and then up and down in each category. On the right side is our hands-free calling. So you got hanging a call up, answering a call, and then volume. That will do radio volume too. Down below that, we have our steering wheel control under the right side here. Pull down. Now steering wheel goes up and down, and then also telescopes out. Push back in, pull it up to lock it in place. Way down underneath here, there's a switch on this side, and there's also one on the other side. The switch that's on this side is actually radio power. So that's for the front radio. It's selecting which batteries we want to use. Either we're going to use the house batteries or chassis batteries. If I switch it to the chassis or engine battery, now the radio up front only works with your ignition key. So the only way it's going to turn on is by you starting your engine. The switch on the other side is actually a battery boost switch, which is right there. So just push that. What that actually does is it will jump start your coach. So if your chassis battery is ever dead, you can actually jump start that chassis battery off of your house batteries. So kind of a nice feature. Just never supposed to leave you stranded. Be able to jump your coach at any time. All right, coming into the middle here, you got your shifter. It actually shifts just like it shows on the left side. Over, down, over, down. Once you get down to drive, we can also paddle shift, which is just pretty much manually shifting. So you can go down to 5th gear, 4th gear, 3rd gear, or push it right and shift back up. In the center, way down low underneath, there is a 12-volt outlet way underneath here. This outlet underneath here is hot all the time. If I pull this tray out, there's another 12-volt cigarette lighter here. This one's ignition controlled. So only works when your ignition's on. You do have a removable ashtray. Just come out, it can be a coin holder, whatever you want to use it for, or it can be a small cup holder too. Close. Adjustable cup holder on this side. Just push it in. If you want to reset, push it all the way over. All you gotta do is push this back in, then goes back in. This here is our brain box for our infotainment center up front. So that's kind of controlling this whole monitor up here, telling it what to do. Has your SD card here, which has all your navigation on it. We are going to want to update that once a year, at least. You can do it more often if you want to. Pretty much what that's doing is updating your maps, giving you the most recent maps out there. Your manual will have the website to go to, Rad McNally, and then it will tell you how to update that. Or you can bring it to a dealer and ask them to do it, or ask somebody else to do it if you want to. It's a matter of taking that card out and putting it in your computer. We have a USB port, and we have an HDMI port. So that's for streaming or hooking any phones or anything up to use this monitor. In the center, we have defrost here. You have your four-way hazards in the middle. ASR is going to be your traction control. You have the ability to shut that off. Only time you would really shut that off if we got stuck in mud, stuck in snow, stuck in, anything that you wanted to spin your tires and try to get out of that situation. That would be the only reason you shut that off, because it does give you a big warning up on your dash when we do shut that off. We have two locks here. Top lock is for front doors. Bottom lock is for rear doors. In the middle is our climate control. We're setting everything with this little white dash right there. So if I want 72-degree air, I'll set it at 72. And then I turn the fan up. If you see lights coming up the fan, the system's on. You take all the lights off of there, the system's off. Recirculation is here. Your AC control is right there. These are all of your vent controls right here. And then we also have a low defrost right there that just turns your AC on, gives you a little cooler air to defrost or take a fog away from your windows. Coming up to the infotainment. So I'm going to push menu. So this is everything this system offers. So we're going to start with radio. So on the radio, it's all touchscreen. So you have all your bands, all the options on that side. You have the tuning, seeks, and then all your scans and everything on the right side. We have all your presets on the bottom. If you want to set a preset, just hold it. It will set to that preset. Go back into menu, media center. Exactly what it is. It has, you could download screensavers, other things onto that option there. Sirius XM. So Sirius XM on this model, there is no subscription that comes with the purchase of it. So you do have to subscribe to it. If you ever do want to, on channel 0, it's going to give you your radio ID number. That's what Sirius XM is going to want to know to activate your radio. They probably also are going to want to know your serial number and model number, so keep that handy too. Bluetooth is for syncing our phones. Really easy to do. All we're going to do is push that little phone in the right hand corner, push new. Now the system's in pairing. Now you'll just go into Bluetooth on your phone and sync to this system. That's how we can do all of our hands-free calling. That's how we can play music too over our phone. HDMI is that port down here on your brain box. Auxiliary port is not used on this system. Your HDMI camera is your rear view camera. And if I touch the screen, it brings me 3 options. The normal option is the only one that's actually going to have the distance lines on it. The horizon will look a little further back so you can see behind you a little further. And then the hitch option is going to look straight down to your hitch. So that's going to help you back up to, trailers, vehicles, tow vehicles, any of that stuff. That hitch option is really nice to have. If you want to keep your camera up on the screen while you drive, touch the screen, hit that little paddle lock down the left-hand corner. And that will lock the camera onto the screen. So it won't revert back to the radio or anything. It'll always stay on that. But you do also have to unlock the screen to go back to a different screen. iPod, no longer used on this system. And then you also have Rad McNally navigation here. We do also have a navigation button on the left side here. So we'll go into navigation. It's always going to ask you about this legal warning here. Say accept. Now in this option, RV tools. We'll go into RV tools. RV information. What that's going to be is setting your coach up. It's going to ask you what type of coach you have, how many bottles of propane, heights, lengths, widths, all that stuff. Set that up because this system's actually going to route you around bridges, tunnels, stuff you can't go over or under. So it's a good feature to have. That would be one of the first things I would do when you get your unit, or at least make sure it's done. Back button in the upper right hand corner. Warnings. This system is going to warn you of curves, of hills, of toll booths, if you're speeding, construction zones. This is just where we set it up, how far in advance we want it to warn us. What I would do is I'd run with it how they have it set, and if you don't like one of those distances, then come in here and change it. But I think I'd leave it go to start with. Go back. Okay, quick planner. That's exactly what it says. If you want to know how far it is from one location to another location without plugging it into your map, that's what a quick planner is for. Road Atlas, it's going to tell you a little bit about the state you're in. So if you want to know a little bit about Iowa, click on Iowa. It's going to tell you population, you know, just some fun facts about that state. Tell Rad is actually feedback. They want the feedback if there's construction zones not on their system, if speed limits are wrong, you know, anything that's wrong with their system, they want that feedback. Checklists, maintenance, trails, and fuel. All right, so the first part is the checklist. We do have some preloaded ones in here, like campsite setup. If I click on it, it's already set up. There's a lot of things in this one that probably won't refer to this motorhome, so you can delete them or you can add to them, which would be customizing. So you can customize any of these charts. If you want to use it like level RV side to side, okay, I did that. Put a check on it. Then you can go through this whole list. We can use this list. A lot of people can make their own on just a sheet of paper too, but this is kind of nice. It's on board. Don't have to worry about it. Go back. Maintenance is pretty much a big notebook. It's there so you can, you know, jot down some of the maintenance stuff you've done. Keep track of all that stuff. Trails. What trails are is I can start a trail right now, go drive through my town I'm in, end the trail, and then save it. And then next time I come back to that town, I could go on that exact same trail if I wanted to. Fuel, exactly what it is. It keeps track of all your fuel for the years. Gets really specific too. So if I go to add fuel, it's going to ask you your odometer readings, what station you were at, you know, last odometer, current odometer, fuel price it's going to ask you. So it gets really specific of keeping track of your fuel for you. Let's go back. Okay, you do also have a calculator and a converter at the bottom of that screen too. Back one more time. So back to, this is the screen that's going to pop up right when you turn on the navigation. Go to map is exactly what it says. It's going to take you right back to your map. Right now we don't have a location in there, so it doesn't show any, you know, turns or anything on there. Over here is how we could bring up any food, lodging, anything we're looking for on our route. Next one down is going to be turn by turn. So it's going to tell you all your turns coming up. The plus minus is going to be zooming in, zooming out. The 9 little checkbox or little boxes down the right hand corner will take you back out to the main screen. You have a compass that just tells you the direction you're facing. Settings takes you into the settings of that screen. Then you have miles per hour. It tells you how fast you're going. And if you do click on that, it will actually bring a whole nother screen up. That will actually keep your mile per hour going. All that stuff tells you sunrise, sunset. A couple of cool features on that. Go back, and then if I push that one, take me back out to the main menu. Now we're going to choose destination. So under choose destination, we have new location, history, address book. It's a lot like any GPS you've probably used in the past. Hit new location, type in the address you want to go, push begin route, or you can push compare routes, or if you had a history you wanted to go to, or something saved in your address book, just click on those. Multi-stops, That means we can set up our whole trip prior to leaving, and it will take us one by one to each one of those stops. Points of interest, really nice on this, because we can do it from my RV, city, my route, or my destination. Let's just do it from my RV for now. So what that means is I'm searching from right where I'm sitting right now, all the nearest whatever I'm looking for around this area. So if we're looking for campgrounds, click on it. It's going to ask you what kind of campground you're looking for. Say I want a state park. Click on state park. Now it brings up all the state parks around this area, how far they're away. Say you found one you want to look at. Go to pilot knob. Alright, it's going to ask you either begin a new route, compare routes, save it to the address book, or down at the bottom we have kind of a cool feature. If I push details, it's going to actually tell me about that campsite. It's going to say it has 60 sites, electric, dump, playgrounds. So it kind of gives you something prior to going there. So you know if you even want to go there or not. If you don't want to, let's grab the next one, see if we want to go there. Back, back, back. Okay, next one over, RV services. RV services, so the top category there will actually find the nearest RV dealer for you. You have list all, you have RVDA dealers, or you can select other dealers. So if something would come up where you need a dealer, this is a good reference to go in, find a dealer. And then again, if you can't find what you want, give us a call. We'll give you a hand. Go back, RV dump stations. So click on that. Now it's going to bring up all the places around this area that has a dump station. Back, back. Next one over is going to be parking, rest areas, border crossings. You have travel centers, Rad McNally editor's picks. So if I click on that, it's going to ask you if you want a roadside attraction, festivals, you know, fishing hotspots, what kind of attraction you're looking for. Other categories, there's about 50 more. So if I click on it, it's going to diesel fuel, restaurants, shopping, airports. You know, there's tons in there. So usually this system will help you find pretty much anything you're looking for. Especially, this is really helpful if you're in an area you've never been to. Helps you find whatever you want. So now if I go back, back, back. Alright, the other thing we have in here is Rad McNally trips. So these have some preloaded trips in here. Like say I want best of the road. Click on it. They've loaded just a bunch of trips. If you just want a random trip, click it, say go. Alright, so that's pretty much navigation. You know, there's a lot to navigation. The best thing is just get in there, mess around with it. Always refer to your manual if you have to, or give us a call. Next one is dim on the left side here. That dim switch will actually dim that screen down. And then you have a favorite button. So favorite button right now is set up for picture in picture. We'll give you the separate pictures. We can go into the settings of the radio and actually put whatever we want to on that favorite button. So if you want this favorite button to just be Sirius XM, not the split screens, that settings, go in there, change the favorite mode over to that. Down below you have the volume button here for the radio, and then if I hold this button, it actually shuts the whole system down. But with the whole system shut down, this screen's always going to be on. If this screen is bothering you at night, that means you have your radio power switch that we talked about in the house position. So come back up here, switch it back over to engine, that will shut everything off until you start your engine next time. Over on the left side, passenger side, you have your airbag here. There is no on-off for that airbag. Cup holder up front there. We have a Mercedes glove box that's locked with the Mercedes key in there. You do also have your windshield shades here, which come across. There's this little tab that pops open. That's how we split that mirror. And then bring that side over, meet them in the middle. There's a magnet right here. They have to meet square so it sticks together. So then when you come back over, just pop this back over, go back in, and then you do have this Velcro strap here that we're going to strap it down with. There are 2 more locks here. If we do want to lock it down, we can put those locks, engage them. The Velcro is more than enough, but the sign down here will tell you engage all locks before travel. And again, in that black bag back in your closet were your side window shades that just have magnets that stick on there. Okay, now we will head outside. We'll go through all the outside stuff. Okay, right inside the passenger door here, we actually have another control for the awning, bringing it in and out. And it's going to say awning extend, awning retract. So again, if you want to put the awning out, hold it for a couple seconds. Now that awning's going to come out. The main thing to remember about your awning is, we don't want to leave it out when we leave the coach, because a big gust of wind comes up, it's going to rip it off. So put the awning away when you're going to leave the coach. It's just safer to do that. There is a wind sensor built into this, but don't trust that to be the safety device to always bring this in, because if a gust would come, that can't react fast enough to bring it in time. So if you leave your coach, just get it in. So again, wind sensor, you get a big enough wind, it's going to come in automatically. Also with this awning, if the engine is running, this awning will not come out at all. It'll go in, but it's a safety feature where it won't come out. So if your engine's running, you're trying to put your awning out, it's not going to work. All right, if I want to retract it, I'll just hold that retract button. Comes in. And again, that LED strip lighting that we see in the awning up there, that's controlled inside on the panel. Light switch for that. Okay, the other thing, this one's a little fun to get to. Right underneath your sliding door here, all the way underneath the coach here. So right here, there's a valve. That's your freshwater tank drain. Has to be in this position to be closed, be in line with that hose to be open. So that's how we would drain all that fresh water out of the tank. Okay, we have one way to fill our freshwater tank is right here. Just a gravity fill. We can take that cap off, stick a hose in, fill it pretty much until you get water coming back out at you, or you can watch your panel inside. It'll show you when you're full. Put that back on. We do have the fire extinguisher, which is right by the main door, easy access. Underneath that fire extinguisher, we have our coach battery disconnect. So what that's for, pretty much, if you're not going to be using the coach for a couple weeks, not have anything in the fridge, go ahead and shut that off. It's going to shut everything down in the back side of the RV, so there's no draws on your batteries. So next time you come, it's going to be good to go. Pretty much that's all that switch should be used for is, storage, or if you're not going to use it for a while. In the cabinet that's here, down here, again, hard to see, but it's back around the corner there. Okay, that siphon hose that we talked about that was in your black bag. It actually screws right into that fitting. There's a little handle there that says winterize and normal. If we're going to winterize, we're going to flip it up to winterize. We're going to take that hose, put it in our jug of RV antifreeze, turn our water pump on, then we'll go to every faucet and run the faucets till we get pink coming out from that RV antifreeze. After you've done that, what we're going to do is dump a little bit more down the sink traps and shower drains, just to winterize those traps. And pretty much there's not much more than that to winterizing. So pretty easy to winterize these kind of coaches. Otherwise, you can refer to our videos on winterizing coaches. Moving back, up high, you have your 2 outdoor speakers. So that's running off that Jensen radio in the back of your coach. You have your LED light in the middle, which the control's right inside for that. Down below, we have a 12-volt plug and a coaxial hookup. So that coax on this side is actually an outfeed. It's made if you want to put a TV out on the campsite here, and that's pre-wired into your antenna. Or if the resort offers cable, it's pre-wired for that cable too. Right beside that, we have portable solar. So if you want to add more solar, you have the 100-watt panel up there, but if we want more, if we're going to do a lot of dry camping, we can hook up here. We just have to make sure we have the right kind of solar panel. It has to be matching what we already have on here so it runs with our controller inside. Any questions on that, just give us a call. We also have a 110 plug-in underneath this. So this plug-in is also going to run with your GFI plug-in that's inside. On the tires, let me close the door here, be a little easier. All right, 61 pounds of pressure all the way around. Every tire in here is going to be 61. If you ever need to check tire pressure, we're going to go here either with a screwdriver, that whole hubcap pops off, and then you're going to need a reverse checker to check the front one, and then on the opposite side you'll push in to check the inside one. A good add-on, a very good add-on, is actually doing valve stems. We do offer that here. Makes it a lot easier. They'll actually stick out. You don't have to take anything off to check tire pressures. Also, another thing is tire minders. You can sit in your front cab, got a little iPad looking thing. It will actually tell you tire pressures, tell you if you get a flat tire, any of that stuff. So a couple add-ons that are really good to use. Okay, we're gonna come around the back. Okay, so we'll talk about the back doors first. The back doors open up. They do have a catch here that stops them. We can open the door up all the way. You'll grab that, open that release, and then this door is going to go all the way around. And there is a magnet bumper that's on that side, so you're not going to hit your coach, and it's going to help hold it in place. Identical on the other side, just helps open this back area up. So we can actually utilize this, make this kind of an inside-outside space. We do have a little tether here that will pull. There's a blackout shade there, and then if I pull it again, it actually becomes a day shade. So we can utilize this during the day, get a nice airflow coming through there. Down below that, we have a pull-out tray. There's a release right here, lift up on that black handle, pull it out, gives us access to anything on this tray. All right, we have an outside water hose here, which I'll show you hooks up on the other side. Make sure we winterize this. If you're pumping your RV antifreeze through everything else, hook this up, spray a little RV antifreeze out of this till you get pink, pretty much coming out. Comes with a 10-foot water hose, or sewer hose. 10 foot works for some people. A lot of people upgrade their hoses. It's really hard to make a 10-foot hose get to the dump station. A lot of people go with 20-foot Rhino hoses. Again, we offer those here. They're good. Just get a tote, put them back here, store all of your sewer fittings, everything like that, back in the tray, out of sight, out of mind. All right, so close that. Back around the corner here, you'll see this strap. There's a strap and a strap. That's actually where the cushion goes for your front bed. Face the cushion on the inside, take the strap, go around it, snap it together. So again, gets it out of the way so you don't have to store it up there or on the bed or anything. Down below, for towing, we have 5,000 pounds of towing. We have 500 on the vertical tongue weight. We have a 7-pin adapter over here. And then to the right side of that, you have LP hookup out here for remote grill hookup. This is regulated. So we want to make sure if you do hook a grill up to it, we have to take the regulator off that grill. If we don't, your flame's going to be really, really tiny because we're double regulating then. So take the regulator off. The fitting is in your black bag that hooks into that. All you got to do is get a hose to hook to your grill. There is a shut-off valve on top of that fitting that turns all flow on and off on that too. Okay, moving around to the driver's side. All right, first little compartment here. We're gonna flip it open. This is your outside shower, outside sprayer. We have hot and we have cold out here. It's a quick connect. So it's kind of like an air hose. That sprayer that we had, just push it in. It will lock it into place. To release it, pull that back and then pull it out. Also, after you winterize any of that stuff, once you take the hose out, make sure you drain that hose. Make sure there's no water in that coiled hose, because it will freeze and have the potential to break. Over here is your 30 amp power cord. Really easy to use. Okay, just got 3 prongs. We're gonna line those up with the prongs on your coach. So line them up. Once you get it in, give it a little twist, and then this retainer here is gonna hold that cord onto your coach. So screw that on, then we're gonna just pull this down. It's gonna give you a blue light, just knowing you have power. On the other side of your cord, at the hookup, there's gonna be another blue light. Just kind of a good indication that you have power. One main thing we wanna do is, we wanna carry adapters with us. Whether it's a 30 to 20 adapter, best way is to carry both, 30 to 20, and then we wanna do the 50 to 30. Pretty much guarantees us that we can plug into anything that any campsite has. The other thing we wanna do is some kind of surge protection. So whether it's a portable surge protection or find a way that we can mount a hardwire surge protection inside, some kind of surge protection is good, just because it will do a lot of damage if we get high voltage, low voltage shocks into this coach. Just do some kind of surge protection. It's an easy insurance to protect your big investment. On the back side here, you have your Truma vent. That's actually where the exhaust is venting out of the Truma. So anytime we're running LP in that Truma, we're exhausting it out to outside. Down low is your generator exhaust, right there. So exhausted to the driver's side, generator's in the middle on the rear side of the coach. So anytime we do oil changes, any of that stuff, gotta go underneath to do it. Okay, moving forward, we do have an LED light up above. The control for that light is actually down here in your water compartment. So if we come down here low, the furthest compartment back on your driver's side does have this T-handle on this side that opens up, and you can lock it over there. You have a little silver key that's on your set of keys that will lock this compartment. We can flip that up. It does have this little stand here. That's right here. That will actually hold this compartment up too. So if we do a permanent sewer or any of that stuff, use the kickstand so we can bring that hose out. So for your sewer here, there's 2 labels down here. You have gray on the left, black on the right. We're always gonna dump that black tank first. So reach way into the back. There's some T-handles way back here. So way back here, there's a T-handle on the right side and a T-handle on the left side. So pull that T-handle straight out until it stops. That will dump all the black out of your waste tank. And then after you don't hear any more running out, or don't see any more running out, pull the gray out. Gray's a little cleaner, helps rinse your hose out, just helps rinse things down a little bit. Coming over here, we have, first switch here is for your outside LED. Water pump switch is here. So that's the second place to turn your water pump on and off. Next is a cable input. So that's if the resort offers cable, that's where we can hook up their cable too. Right here is a diverter valve. So if we're hooked up to the water source at the campground, we can use this diverter valve to fill our tank from here. Instead of going to the other side and gravity filling, just flip that down to tank fill. You'll either hear it pour on the ground, or again, you can check your gauges inside. But make sure when you're done, you always return that to normal operation. Also on this, we want to do some kind of regulator too. A pressure regulator, really cheap investment, protects all your water lines. 2 more low points on the bottom. And then we also have a Santa flush. What that Santa flush is for, it helps rinse out that black tank. Helps it keep it clean, make sure our sensors are gonna work right. Because we use sonic sensors on here, so it's reading density. And if we build up too much crud on the inside of our tank, there's a chance you can get false readings, so make sure we keep that tank clean. You can even get product to go down there and help clean that tank. Have a different color water hose for that. Don't use your drinking water hose, just to be safe. There are check valves and everything else, but just be safe, have a different color hose on that. Okay, up in front of that, we have our LP, and we always know it's LP because we never put a lock on this door for emergency reasons. In case there's a fire, anyone has to get to it quick, we can get to it and we can shut it off. So down underneath, kind of hard to see, there is a shutoff on the right side here. It's a grill shutoff pretty much. So righty tighty shuts it off, lefty loosey turns it on. If you're gonna turn it on, make sure you take it all the way on. Don't just turn it a little bit and think you got it on, turn it all the way on. Same with going off, shut it all the way off. The fill station's here, 80% valve is there, and then we have another gauge out here that tells us how much LP we have on board. Someone certified is gonna be filling these for you. You just have to find the location that fills tanks. Okay. Up here, you have a vent down low and a vent up high. All these are for is service. This is literally the back of your fridge. There's no storage in there, no storage up there. Actually up there is all that is the vent. We're bringing air in, circulating it up, getting rid of the exhaust up there. If you don't have to take these off, don't take them off, because if you don't get them clipped right, you will lose them going down the road. So if you can think of that as just as a service port, something for me to work on when you bring it to me if there's a problem with your fridge. All right, up here inside the driver's door, we have diesel tank. The diesel tank is secure anytime the driver's door is shut. So you do have to open the door, flip this open, and then we can close the door. Pop off the cap. Diesel, ultra low sulfur diesel is what we're looking for. You can use a biodiesel, B5 max on the biodiesel. Close. Inside here we have all of your VIN numbers, serial numbers, models, tire pressures are also in here. And yeah. Okay, underneath the seat here, if I flip that up, there are Mercedes fuses. These will be labeled in your manual, so refer to your manual if you ever have a problem in here or looking for anything. We also have Mercedes fuses up here in the front, underneath this plate right here, and there's more ATO fuses in there. Way back underneath here, so there's a little red tab you'll see. That's a chassis battery disconnect. So your chassis battery is under this floor here. What we need to do is just grab that red tab, pull it off the post. And what that's going to be for storing. If you're going to store the coach or not use it for, a couple weeks, pull that. Because there's always parasitic draws on your battery that will draw it down over time. So I guarantee if you don't use your coach for 3 months or 3 weeks to a month, your battery is going to drain down some, maybe to the point where it won't start. So by pulling that, you pretty much ensure that it's going to start next time you come and use your coach. Again, it just has a battery picture there that shows that it's underneath the floor. Your hood release is right around the corner here. Little black handle that's right around the corner. Okay, also on the driver's door, way down low, and also passenger door, we do have a little bit of storage down at the bottom. That is only accessible if the door's open. A lot of people will store diesel gloves, rubber gloves, stuff like that in here that they use for filling diesel or sewer dumping, any of that stuff. Stuff that they're only going to access when they're pretty much out of their coach. All right, coming up here to the front. All right, the release was right left of the Mercedes symbol in the front, so just pull that up. We're going to lift. You'll hear it click into place. It latches itself into place. On the right side over here, start with, we have your brake fluid. It is a clear liquid, so just shake it a little bit. You'll see that liquid move. There is a minimum and max line on the side. You have windshield washer fluid here. Just flips open. We have a remote terminal here. Since we don't have access to that battery, we have a remote terminal that we put a jumper cable, and then the ground is over there on the side. So if anyone needs to jump us, or we need to jump somebody, or if we just want to hook a battery charger up, we can do that up here. Down here is power steering fluid. It has a dipstick right on it. We have an oil filter that sits right down in here. Just a cartridge oil filter. Chassis air cleaner above that is here. We have oil fill here, oil dipstick behind that. It is a sealed transmission. There is a port down here that you can access, but it does say only for Mercedes use only. So they want you to base anything to do with the transmission on mileage pretty much. Refer to your manual on how many miles we should do a tranny flush, how many miles we need to do any of those services. And you can always give us a call. We'll give you our recommendation on any of those services because we do offer all those services here. DEF, that's your diesel exhaust fluid, is what that stands for. What that actually is an urea that's pumped into your exhaust that kills the carbon monoxide. The government mandated that all diesels have that. That's why we don't see black smoke coming out of diesels anymore. Only thing is we have to always add this. You do get a warning on your dash after so many miles, and it's all going to depend how much idling time you've done, just how many miles you've gone. So let's say after 3,000 miles you get the warning on your dash. At that time I would get some in, because after so many starts or so many miles after that, it's going to lock you out of your coach. Pretty much it shuts you down until we get it more in there. So just make sure, you know, let it go down some, because the stuff does crystallize. So let it go down a little bit and then top it off. A lot of diesel stations offer this right at the pump now. Grab the pump, pump it in. 3.4 gallon tank. After 2 gallons are used is when you're gonna get your light on the dash. We have your coolant level here, our coolant tank expansion. And then we have your air cab filter here. So that's all the air coming into your cab. It's coming across the hood sweep into your cab. This filter is a membrane filter, so make sure we just blow it out with air or replace it. Don't use water on it, you'll ruin it. Oil changes. Mercedes recommends 20,000 miles or 2 years on the oil change for the chassis. We recommend 10,000 or do it every year. We just like to get the oil out, get new oil in, seems to help. Break-in is 1,000 miles. So for that first 1,000 miles, we don't want to do any towing, and we want to vary our speeds. That's the main thing. There's no top speed, no minimum speed. They pretty much don't want you going out there, setting your cruise for 4 hours and not changing speeds at all. So if you don't use your cruise, your foot's probably going to vary those speeds enough. But if you do want to use your cruise, every hour, pull off on an off ramp, pull back on, you know, vary your speed a little bit is the main thing there. The other thing is Winnebago recommends that you do get an alignment after that break-in period is done, and you get it loaded with everything you're going to put in it. Go get this aligned. It'll make your tires last a lot longer. You know, keep up on those maintenance things. Again, this is a big investment. Make sure we keep up on the maintenance. Follow the maintenance charts in your manuals. You know, refer to our service manual we have that you probably got when you took delivery. Refer to that, because that will tell you a lot of our recommendations for those services. So now if we come around to this side, one last thing, well, 2 last things. First one is under the passenger seat here. We're gonna flip that open. All right, we're gonna have breakers. They're 12-volt breakers here. This is for your exterior stuff, for your awning, stuff like that. Battery switch mode there, so we're protecting our battery switch. Again, radio, your radio is under here. Most of your stuff is inside on that panel I showed you. This would be more of your exterior stuff here. Other thing in here, last but not least, under this panel here. Plastic pull back. Okay, that little tab there, put a key or something, twist it to the left, that whole floor will pop up. You have a hydraulic jack in there, we have tire tools, and then we have a little bar that screws in the front, that if we ever need to pull this with a chain, anything, screws in, you hook to that. So we're not hooked to this. That pretty much covers about everything on our Era. If you have any questions, any comments, any of that stuff, you know, give us a call. We're glad to help you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a safe day.